Hey everyone, so in this video we are talking about one of those issues which I addressed in my previous video, that is the video which I uploaded today. It was about the colors, the light. Maybe if the video doesn't look the best, then in that case what you can do in post-production to improve it. So basically in this video we are talking about color grading your videos and how to basically make those basic corrections into your videos which can make your videos look a little bit more better. So here I have my Premiere Pro project open, in which I have a clip of today's video which I edited, and in this video we'll be making some basic color corrections into this piece of video which I have on my timeline, and we'll be having a look at the previous and the other versions of the footages, that is the before and the after doing the basic color corrections or color grading, as you may say. So why color grade? Why do we need to color grade our videos? Basically sometimes it happens that we want to depict scenery in our videos in which gives out the audience that yes, this particular scene has a particular themes. For example, if it is a theme of winter and your footage looks very odd, like it doesn't look the way it should look in winters. So what mostly videographers do, that they apply LUTs, they do color grading to their videos. So for example, if I'm talking about footages which should depict a winter scene or a cold sort of scenes, then the blue colors are more shown up in those video files. For example, it is a summer vibe of a video part, then the teal and the orange colors pop up a little bit after post-production. So those are some basic edits they do with the colors, so that the scene should look the way the editor wants. So in this video I have my footage, the part of the footage which I want to color grade. Let's say if I go into the Windows panel, and then in this panel I search for Lumetri color, and then I select, and so this panel pops up. First of all, we have some basic corrections provided here. So it has those exposure, contrast, highlights, shadows, whites and blacks, which you can apply for photos as well. So you can do a little bit of photo editing in Premiere Pro as well, but that's not the best platform for editing photos, we all know that. So here you can work with the basics of your videos. So for example, if I am to adjust my exposure, I can do that here. Let's say I just bring it up a little bit, then I'll work with the contrast. It's just a trial and error method to find out whether your footage looks the way you want it. Like I can work with the highlights, I can work a little bit with the shadows so that the depth of field comes up in the videos. The whites and the blacks can be adjusted as well. Okay, so the footage looks better than the earlier one, in my opinion. Obviously everyone has a different way of editing their footages. Then next comes the creative section, in which you can again work with the sharpness and the vibrance of your footage. You can also adjust the saturation of any particular color in your footage. So next comes the RGB curves, and it has this graph sort of thing along with a color wheel. Initially I was really scared to use this, and I always thought that I will be making the worst color edit by using these sort of tools, but however it is really easy to use them, and it's not that scary to think about. It's like this graph sort of thing which you can see. It has basically 4 colors provided here, and you can adjust the darkness, or I may say that the blacks which comes into this lower corner here, and I can play with the blacks a little bit here, and at the upper right corner I can play with the brightness, and in the middle I can again play with the colors, so that I can make the colors of my footage to pop up and to look as natural as possible, and on the other hand it should look a little bit more nicer. And then again you can adjust the different colors like red, green and blue, but however I don't need to adjust them right now, and so let's keep it as it is. And then next comes this hue saturation curve, and here basically it's all a game of keyframes. Again here you can click and apply a keyframe, and then you can drag, move around to see if some colors needs to be adjusted. Again you can have multiple keyframes onto this particular color and make it look something like I don't think that's the best way to color correct your videos. Basically it's all a trial and error which you need to apply to color correct your videos. I'll just press Ctrl Z for a few times, and again we're back to normal. Then next comes the HSL secondary, which again has the advanced color correction if needed sometimes, but I personally do not use this particular section to edit my footages. And then the last comes the vignetting, which I use in my videos sometimes, because I think vignetting is one of the tools which helps the subject to pop up out of the scene. If I would have added vignette in this footage, and let's say I just pop it a little bit down, so you can see that the corners get a little bit black at the top right end, and again you can adjust the midpoints to just play around with the focus point of your footage. For example, in this footage I am the focus point, and I want my audience to have focus on me rather than on the background, so I can obviously use vignetting. I can again play with the roundness of the midpoint feather which appears around the footage, and the rest of the part which it is ignoring, that goes on into the black section. So that are some basic settings which you can do to create those color corrections in your videos. So let's say I just wanted to edit this footage which I have in a basic way. So this was all a demonstration. If I just have this stock footage with me and I was about to edit this, so let's go through the basic corrections first of all. So I adjust the exposure like a little bit, the contrast a little bit, the highlights is I think okay, shadows is okay, whites need to come a little bit up, and then the blacks, so that my shirt looks a little bit more nicer. And then in the curve section, let's say I go with the red, try to make it more organic sort of footage, so it looks okay, it looks much more green, that much is not needed. Let's come to greens. Okay, so here you can see how much the color varies, so excess is always bad. Okay, it looks somewhat like a disco light sort of thing, that is not needed now. And then the blues, okay, it looks a little bit yellowish, that is not how you do it. And then comes this hue and saturation curve. As I said, I don't need it much in my videos. The color wheels, here you can work with the midtones, the highlights, the shadows again as well, and the HSL secondary, and it has basically these number of colors which you can specifically work with. You can actually work with the saturation of each individual color, so it works by working with that particular color in your footage. It will search for that color element in your footage, and then you can work with the amount of color, that particular color which you want in your videos to either exist or not. So now if I play this footage which I color corrected right now, it looks somewhat like this, and as you can see that the color changes looks more realistic rather than what you were seeing out of the camera. So that's it for me guys. I hope you enjoyed this short and simple video. If you did, smash the like button and subscribe to my channel for more. I'll be coming up with such videos in future. Till then, bye bye.